Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk faster, faster, faster. Gotta talk fast.
Oral review of Archie comics Sonic the Hedgehog, reminding you that knowing your streets, roads, highways, railways, and general area is valuable information. It has never been easier in human history to know what your local area looks like. Google Maps and Street View is an immensely useful tool. Know the shortcuts around your neighborhood. Know all your surrounding towns and municipalities.
Yep.
Physically walking what you see on a map is the next step in order to see what it's actually like. Don't get caught getting lost in your own neighborhood, town, or county. I'm Nick, and except for this intro, I wrote the script.
And I'm Dominic, and except for this intro, I haven't read any of today's script.
Oh, man. Sorry it's been so long since we've done an episode. I've been just so incredibly swamped with work. I worked for like 3 weeks straight, both days and weekends.
Literally day after day after day, more than 8 hours, many days. And the amount of traveling, it was actually brutal. He was giving me updates every now and then, and I was like, that's actually brutal. This sucks, dude.
It was not fun, but I've been promised I'm not going anywhere till the end of September. So that gives us enough time to film some episodes in person after this one, and hopefully we'll make some other content. I know I'm going to just take a week off at some point, so hopefully we can make some stuff then. Because any sane person uses their vacation time to make Sonic content.
I mean, that's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Right? It's not work.
It's not work. Well, no, I was more just saying I'm insane in general. Is there any updates we need to give about our lives or anything? You just want to go straight into it, man.
About our lives?
I don't. It's been so long since we've done a podcast. I don't know how we normally do. Do we talk? Do we just go straight into it? I don't know how to even talk to people, man. I was just going from I was working in a warehouse, then a hotel room, and then, that was my life for like weeks. So I don't even know how to talk to people these days.
Yeah, Nick was honestly like, whoa.
That works. That was a great joke for the podcast listeners who do audio only, where Dominic zoomed in his camera really quickly.
Oh, it was really funny.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. We are currently reading. You didn't even put the goddamn issue down.
No, I'm not. I'm out of touch.
All right, so we are reading Archie Comics Sonic the Hedgehog number 36. Cover date is, I believe, July of 1996. Either June or July. Nick doesn't write it. All right, here we go. Hear of Darkness, Part 1.
Good sign, having a misspelling in the title. That shows the quality of the script.
Hearts of Darkness, Part 1. Script by Ken Penders, penciled by Art Mahwini. There are few things scarier than what the freedom fighters are witnessing on their monitor in the zone of silence. A demon, one would assume. A horse with demonic eyes galloping across the universe. On the horse's back is a creature that one would describe as a demonic knight. Of course, I would liken him to Super Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze, but red instead of purple. Whatever this creature is, it looks like he's heading towards Mobius, and fast. Rotor begins to monologue about what we're looking at. Gosh, you're looking at live pictures beamed to us from a camera I sent into the zone of silence. But I was in the zone of silence not too long ago. It didn't look anything like that. That's because you weren't, Sonic. You were in a different dimension from this one, but not the one we believe King Eggcord to be in. Consider, you and Robotnik went back and forth between dimensions with such relative ease, while every previous attempt to recover the king from the zone of silence has always been met with failure. This explanation somehow makes sense to Sonic and the gang. Sally pipes up and asks about the figure they just saw on screen and how that relates to everything. That's $1 million question all by itself. Rotor starts tinkering with a computer when a 3D map of Robotropolis appears. He continues tinkering. The magnetic fields over Robotropolis are off the dial. Looks like the doctor is playing around with some serious firepower. And if these readings are correct, whatever Robotnik is doing is having an effect on the zone where King Eggcorn is. Sonic hears this and immediately rushes to where Robotnik is. We cut to Robotnik and Snively, shooting a laser into a portal. Pump up the volume, Snively. It's time we rock and rolled. Not very Robotnik of him.
No, but I was actually pretty into this.
Okay, here we go. Are you sure this is wise, Doctor? Wise doesn't enter into this equation any more than does choice. It's hard to believe that I tampered with forces beyond my control, and it could prove my undoing unless action is taken. Now, Snively, let her rip. Nothing happens. Robotnik turns around and sees that Snively has been tied up by our lovable hero, Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic then immediately spin dashes into the laser. Robotnik screams out to duck, and Sonic, Snively, and Robotnik all dive for cover. You blithering idiot! I hope you're proud of yourself! Big time, Robotnik!
Nice.
I hope you can say the same when you witness all of Mobius eradicated. What do you mean? You figure it out. In the meantime, I've got a world to save. End of part 1. I just like the fact that Sonic's like, hey, Robotnik, you fucking idiot.
Like, honestly, I really did like that exchange right there. It's like, you dumb fuck. Yeah. You do not understand what's happening. Yeah. What a fun, twisty-turvy little turn of events, you know? Robotnik has to be the hero. Sonic impulsively is in the middle of destroying the world. There's a fun, like, demon knight, dark knight, I don't know what we want to call this guy, coming from the thing called the Zone of Silence.
Demon Knight. So I really dig this very first page. I mean, let me just actually take a moment. Actually, before that, the cover is sick.
The cover
actually.
Implies something way cooler than what we get.
I agree, and it is too sick for its own good.
It's really fucking cool.
Legit.
Well, because if I just saw this like cover, I would think like Sally and Sonic get teleported to the past or something, and is like fighting some sort of like medieval Hell Knight. Not even past that. For me, it's like another dimension or another planet altogether, because they've gone. And it's because like it's good. It's good. And then what do you think about the art style of the knights? Maybe not on the cover. We'll go to the actual in comic. Because there's a little less detail. How do you feel about the look of this demon knight? Well, I mean, immediately, like, it's annoying almost because of how cool the demon knight looks on the cover. And then we cut to the actual version that we get, and he looks kind of like cartoony. Like, he looks cute in comparison. Yeah, I mean, I chalk it up to... I see what you mean. I chalk it up to, like, pre-rendered cutscenes and then in-game cutscenes. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, sure. I mean, you're also going to put a lot more time in the cover and whatnot. Also, I think Art Mawini just kind of has a more cutesy style that normally lends itself very well to the comic style of Sonic, but whenever they try to do something kind of hardcore serious, it kind of takes away from the dramaticness of the situation, if you will. Well, part of the issue with that, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I think part of the issue with that is the Sonic characters are this kind of not static, but they have a style to them, and it is cartoony. Even if different artists, like Spaz, for instance, he'll do something even crazier and different. Sonic will still look like a cartoon character at the end of the day. Whereas this original antagonist is just insane looking. Like, the style is completely you could almost argue that's a mismatch, like a detriment. I wouldn't go that far. I think it's a cool contrast,
And we don't talk enough about art and the actual look, not inks by art, but the actual look of this thing. And so like this is such a stark, like this is probably one of the coolest antagonists we have yet. And it's the context too that does it for me, where it's like this is basically an eldritch
horror kind
god.
of thing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Like riding in from the edge of the universe towards your planet. That's horrifying.
Well, and so back to the cover, one of the things that I really appreciate about it is it does feel like Sonic and Sally are quite legitimately like dropped into an alternate universe, because they still kind of maintain that cartoonish art style, and then the world in front of them looks a lot more I mean, maybe closer to something we would know in terms of a fantasy world and whatnot, but a lot more detailed and a lot more violent looking. That they just look so incredibly misplaced. I like the contrast.
I just want to take note of this, that the cover, according to Retro Covers,
is it
the website, it's Spaziante. Harvo, who is Harvey Mercadiaso, sorry, that's a long name, and then Heroic Age, but that name is in red. I'm just reading verbatim what is on the
I was
Retro
looking for
Covers
the
page.
Signature the entire time. I just found it on the bottom right.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really good, and that explains why that also explains why there's a additional, dissonance between the cover and the actual the in-game engine, so they say.
Yeah.
No. But so good getting to the go ahead.
I was gonna get to the story, which was the main thing that the main call out is just this insane thing that they're doing, trying to create alternate realities within the zone of silence. I feel like they're complicating things in an extremely needless way that
I agree.
I've read this like 8 times. In my defense, I was really tired from work. I was trying to write this script earlier, and I kept on reading the first like 4 pages. I'm like, I don't get what the fuck is happening. I would close my laptop. I'm like, I'm fucking done. I get it now, but I'm like, I don't know why you did this. You've made things just complicated. Like, why have these alternate realities within the zone of silence? That, like, it seems like there was an easier fix for whatever writing hole he perceived he made, right? Because it seems like someone probably asked the question, why haven't they gotten King Acorn out in the past already if Sonic was easily able to come in and out during that one issue back in issue number 24?
I would just argue, I agree. I would absolutely agree. I would have just said, yeah, I can't find him in there.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
it's literally as simple as that. It's a zone. It's a bit.
Right, you don't need multiple dimensions in this dimension, right? Space is huge in one dimension alone, right? For the regular mind to comprehend. Mm-hmm. So you don't need infinite spaces, right?
Yeah.
So that was silly.
Yeah, I was kind of angry when we got to that, because I was just like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
This is, as I've said multiple times on this show, I despise multiverse stuff. I thought it was really cool at first, but it got really, really overdone in the past like 5, 6, 7 years, and I've really grown tired of it. And it really creates this sense. Same with time travel, where it's like it creates this sense of this safety net where the consequences are just washed away. It's technobabble to the extreme, where you can just hand wave it. And I know I might sound inconsistent when I say other things, but for me, if you say multiverse or multiple dimensions, that's like a instant turnoff for me. If you can dress it up differently, it'll probably work better in my mind. But just hearing that is annoying as hell.
So, I mean, my critique of multiverse and time travel stuff is normally, I feel like they don't have anything interesting to say, and they're just doing multiverse for the sake of multiverse, right? I haven't watched it yet, but there's like a show on Apple TV that I don't remember the name of that deals with multiverse in a way that I'm like, oh, this sounds interesting. I wouldn't mind watching this show. It's just, hey man, I don't need an alternate Iron Man. I don't give a shit.
Is it What If?
No, I'm talking.
Oh, so okay, sorry.
Yeah,
because there's a Marvel show comic series called What If.
Yeah,
I will say I do like that where it's just Elseworlds story. In DC they call it Elseworlds, in Marvel they call it What If, where it's just, hey, let's just, in this grand equation that is this storyline, let's just change one thing randomly and see what happens, and then you see it play out from there. That I do like, because that's just cool. Like Cool Sonic, for instance. Like, hey, what if Sonic was just way
don't
past
put
cool
Sonic in with these nerds that are doing lame multiverse stories. Cool Sonic is on a different level, okay?
Okay.
He's too busy being cool. But if you want to see a good movie about time travel, just watch The Time Machine, the 2002 hit film with Guy Pearce.
Do you actually enjoy that? Do you actually like that movie?
That movie. I've gone on this rant before, haven't I? On this podcast?
I don't know about you might have on camera. I just don't remember.
That movie's A, great, B, fantastic soundtrack. And it's like one of my favorite movies about time travel because it's a fun way how they do it. It's just a good movie.
I like how they go all in. The original story too, by H.G. Wells, I believe.
This was directed by the great grandson of H.G. Wells.
Oh yeah, I did know that. That's a really cool fact. Yeah. You probably talked about it.
I've 100% talked
or
about
I was
it.
in one of my Wikipedia holes, but either way.
You know what else that director did? The Prince of Egypt, which is a pretty good movie.
Oh, for real? Okay, that I didn't know. That's good. Yeah. That studio, God, DreamWorks, right? That DreamWorks was fucking goated.
Is Prince of Egypt DreamWorks? I don't think so.
Oh, I take it back. Sorry,
I might be wrong. Now I need to look. Yeah, DreamWorks. Sorry, dude, I'm a dumbass.
No, it's okay. DreamWorks is. No, it's okay. The difference between you and me is that I'm nice to people when they make mistakes. DreamWorks is similar to Hanna-Barbera in the sense that they started off so goddamn strong, and then they just commercialized to hell. And I really appreciate that. I actually, no, not appreciate, but rather I lament it. Sorry, I lament it.
I disagree that DreamWorks was putting out banger after banger. Looking at their list,
El Dorado.
So it opens with Ants. Then the Prince of Egypt. Prince of Egypt is really good. The Road to El Dorado.
Ants is good. What are you talking about? Ants is great.
Ants is all right.
Ants is okay. Okay, you're right. Let's find the middle because I agree. It isn't great. I don't think it's all right though. I think it's solidly good.
Okay, I'll accept solidly good.
Hey, you got the big ant that goes, "Hey, I'm the big ant,"
and then Sylvester Stallone and Woody Allen.
Yeah, and then you have Danny Glover as the war ant.
He's getting like, too old for this shit.
I've been beheaded, kid. Yeah.
I've never seen Chicken Run. I've never seen Joseph, King of Dreams, and then it's Shrek, and then it's not a lot of good stuff after that.
I think Shrek 2 is really good too, but.
I mean,
yeah.
What I'll say is Kung Fu Panda is really good. How to Train a Dragon, the first one, is really good.
I haven't seen it. Are you for real?
The first Kung Fu Panda is great.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, the director is fantastic. I love that director. Mark Osborne, who did the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, who did The Little Prince.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's stop going on this random rant.
Heart of Darkness, Part 2. Sonic, Snively, and Robotnik are talking, and Robotnik decides he's going to start monologuing about his past. We have to go back to the beginning. Back before I was the benevolent ruler of Mobius. Let's begin just before I came to power. I was examining that which was left to me by my mentor. My mentor, Kodos, had developed a number of different items to keep law and order over the populace. The best one was a convenient little thing called the Zone of Silence, another dimension of reality suitable for stranding one's enemies. However, it turned out the zone wasn't a dimension with finite proportions. It was a force of nature that would keep growing, merging with whatever existed around it on different energy and physical levels. My photon cannon thwarted its advances, but only as long as I kept it going. Further experimentation acknowledged something had to give. Unfortunately, sacrifices have to be made for the greater good. I was proceeding to take care of the problem when you ruined everything. Since the conditions have to be right to go back and forth between zones, it may be possible to use this, my energy inhibitor. Robotnik holds out a grenade that looks like it's made of light. Once appropriately placed, just press the button and voila! Our universe is saved and you'll have your king back. Sonic mentions not trusting Robotnik, and this is just all too easy. Robotnik essentially retorts with a, come on, and that's enough for Sonic. Sonic brings the inhibitor back to Rotor to analyze. This may be an energy inhibitor, but I'm stumped as to how it operates. Right now, I can only recommend it to be used as a last resort. Rotor walks over to a machine and opens a portal to the Zone of Silence. Sally, Tails, Antoine, and Sonic all jump in and are now floating in space with the Dark Knight. Should we say Dark Knight or Demon Knight?
I call him like 3 different things. I think I call him Space Knight soon, too.
Okay. Sally, Tails, Antoine, and Sonic all jump in and are now floating in space with the Dark Knight and his gargoyle friends charging at the Freedom Fighters. End of part 2.
What are your immediate thoughts?
It's the big lore drop. That's my first thing, is that Robotnik, because before it had long been hinted that Robotnik just took over, right? The kingdom of Acorn, the society. But now we know that Robotnik was essentially part of the government. Specifically, it seems, in a military... He doesn't exactly say, but it's more of a militaristic sense. He seems to be some kind of either national defense or internal security or like police force. It looks more general-esque with his attire in the flashback. What he's wearing, he's got like the shoulder pads and the tussles and the I forget what it's called, but it's like it's not medals, but representations of the ribbons on his chest. So it implies some kind of military thing, right? And it was an inside job. It was a coup by Robotnik to overthrow the government of King Acorn. So that's already huge right there. A big lore drop.
Have they mentioned Kodos yet? I've read this like 8 times, so I don't remember if I recognize the name Kodos or if I just reread this so many times that I was like...
It never... I did not ring any bells for me. There's a chance that they were briefly mentioned in like a whatever sentence in previous issues, but this is the first time I'm registering Kodos, the name Kodos. We certainly haven't seen Kodos for sure. And I also like how they just call them Kodos casually by their first name.
Yeah, for sure.
and not like head scientist. I'm assuming there's some kind of science person, it's like head scientist Kodos or something, just casually. Hey, that dude. But yes, that's pretty huge. And was this, we get backstory on the Zone of Silence too. I do think it's cool that cool in a narrative sense, that the Zone of Silence was used as this basically horrific weapon of war, where you don't kill your opponent, your enemy, right? You send them to another dimension, floating in space.
Well,
and like that's pretty metal, dude.
I mean, to be fair, Kodos made it and was never used before. It was first time it was used on King Acorn. I feel like this implies that Kodos made the swap bots, right? Kodos invented like all of these things, not Robotnik. Like Robotnik can obviously hold his own, right? But it seems like Kodos is the one making all of these items, and he just happened. I don't know what happened to Kodos, and Robotnik just happened to like take over. But I feel like Kodos is the one that made all these things. Mainly, you look at the panel where Robotnik is looking over some secret plans, and he's like, oh, Kodos was about to overthrow the king when he disappeared, which implies that maybe the king like caught wind and banished Kodos or something. But I feel like Kodos probably made the swap bots for King Acorn as like a way to keep law and order and
further exert control.
Exactly. And then Kodos was going to go and reprogram all the swap bots to follow his lead, and then so forth. That's what I'm assuming is happening.
It's literally like the clones from Star Wars,
1,000%.
right?
Yeah.
Just Order 66, and then they all just turn immediately.
Yeah, exactly. I assume George Lucas read this comic and was like, Penders is onto something.
And well, God, what a recursive circle that would be. That would be so Kenders would be loving that. But Kodos is Robotnik's mentor, so it can go either way.
Yeah,
we don't know for sure. It's ambiguous, so that's a very reasonable theory. There's also a potential theory that Robotnik wasn't even going to actually overthrow. Yeah, wasn't going to overthrow. He might have had plans, but Kodos was doing it independently of Robotnik, and then Robotnik like jumped the gun and was like, "No, I'm going to do it." And then we don't know what happened to Kodos after that. So things are up in the air, but we actually finally get some backstory on that. And I think that's really, not that it was, critical to this comic or anything, but I had always been interested in it, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah. I agree. I also feel like if you look at what page is this, page 8, the top left panel, it seems like it implies that Kodos invented the mace. Because the verbiage is developed a number of different items to keep law and order over the populace, and one of those items is a mace. Another one is like a laser beam, so...
Egad, a ball with spikes.
Well, I like to think he was so like enamored by this, and that's how we ended up with the ball and chain and Sonic 1 and stuff. Like he was just like, these giant balls are there's something to this.
We got ball and chain lore here.
Yeah. Yeah, ball and chain lore.
It is I just think it's really cool that, again, narratively cool, mimicking real life, where governments will just continuously come up with ideas, and like weapons companies will just continuously come up with ideas to like further exert control on mass populations of people, where it's like, yeah, hey, what if we made this thing called the LRAD that just blasts sonic noise at such like literal sonic frequencies at people's ears in such a directed manner that it will force them to run away from that specific, like we can literally blast sound down a street, but not the sidewalks. And we can force the streets to clear by destroying people's hearing with a blast of this device called the LRAD, which is just a speaker on a stick effectively, but more special than that. And seeing that, what was it? I think it was Serbia. No, not Serbia. They would just shoot people. I don't know, some Balkan Eastern European country. They did deploy that for the first time, that in recorded, maybe not recorded history, but in recent memory. And everyone was like, waiting for that to hit America, because we know, I think the new NYPD has them at least.
I do remember seeing clips of the protests and stuff where people were like holding their ears, and it was on the front page of Reddit, I think. It was pretty big news when it happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's so that footage is so amazing, because it's like, it truly is actually like impressive, like on a technological, as horrifying as it is, it's actually very impressive, because they blast the sound on the street not on the sidewalks. And then it's like, Jesus Christ, this is laser precision abuse of the population. Oh my God. I'm waiting for that shit to hit Chicago. I don't know if they have them in LA. I feel like they would have used them in LA by now. Or maybe they just like shooting people with tear gas. I think LA just like shooting people with tear gas.
And rubber bullets.
Yeah, man. All right. Anyway, that tangent aside, was there anything else other than Robotnik setting them up for something? For sure, but they don't really have a lot of cards to play because there's this massive eldritch horror just coming at them. And I do like this Hell Knight is already a lot. I thought he would have been bigger, to be honest with you, based off the cover. But regardless, he's already a lot, it seems. But they added gargoyles and flying, what are those, like pterodactyls or whatever? Or like,
well, the pterodactyls are like never... So they look like pterodactyls, and then you look at spoilers for, I didn't mention it, it's page 13. They look like manta rays in space. Yeah.
I don't know if that's a coloring issue or... No, that's not a coloring issue because it's from the bottom, from the belly. It's just silly. They don't do anything too. They're just literal...
Yeah, they're just there to...
They're just hype minions. Yeah.
They're like, Sonic needs to attack something. At least once in this issue.
Oh, they're decoys.
Yeah, essentially.
Heart of Darkness, Part 3. The Dark Knight towers over the freedom fighters. And then you have in the script Space Knight.
Yep.
Okay, what is Demon Hell Space Dark Knight? What is their voice?
I assume like a demon from like the game Doom or something, right? Just really, really gravelly, really heavy.
Okay, here we go. I don't. Okay.
Just do like a demon.
How low can I go?
Yeah, how low can you go?
Yeah, just do a demon. Dude. Hey Nick, do a demon. What would you do for a demon?
I'm not your bud pal, bro, or any other term
Okay.
you may use suggesting familiarity.
I don't know what the fuck that was.
So like Gollum with throat cancer.
Yeah,
Got it. Okay.
Go with that.
Surrender. Surrender. Or well, it should be more like imposing, right?
Well, I mean,
As
he's
opposed to,
saying,
like,
I'm not
Smoker.
your bud, pal, or bro. Like, the words he's saying isn't imposing.
You're right. Okay.
Like,
I hear you.
He comes off as like a fucking dork, truthfully.
Well, and the audience will now find out why. Yeah. Surrender, or else fact the consequences.
That's a fact.
Surrender, or else face the consequences. That's not exactly a friendly way to start things off, bud. I'm not your bud, pal, or bro, or any other term you may use, suggesting familiarity. Space Knight then tries to get a reply from Sonic on whether he's going to surrender or not, when Sonic just starts punching all of the gargoyles. My troop! The Hedgehog is moving.
It's my troops.
You made it singular.
Oh, it was meant to be more than one. My troops sounds insane.
My troop! The Hedgehog is moving so fast that all I can see is a blue blur. But that is all I need to see in order to fire. Sally is watching and sees the Space Knight raise his joust. And I should note this is like a projectile joust, like it'll shoot lasers. Sally jumps up and pushes the Space Knight off his hell horse. The helmet falls off and reveals the face of King Eggcorn. Sally questions if this truly is her father standing in front of her. Witless female. Never. Should it be like British?
Just because Saint Geoffrey is British doesn't mean this guy is.
Yeah. Because once you're British, that's one accent for the whole country.
Well, I mean, this guy does have British tones. Look at that face and tell me that's not British. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, I can see it. Okay, sure. You got it, Nick. We'll do British. All right. Well, it should be like a more regal, literally regal, right? So
I don't know what regal means.
you actually don't?
No.
So regal, it's like kingly or of a monarch.
That makes sense.
Like a regent. Do you know the name regent?
No.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
And let's not teach him either. No, keep on going. It's fine.
Oh, okay, so you do want me to go on tangents.
Good.
Okay, hold on. Wikipedia. Okay. Wickless female. Never attack if you haven't the stomach to finish off your opponent. King Eggcorn hits Sally and knocks her out. He then demands the surrender of the freedom fighters. Sonic, in a perhaps panicked move, decides to use the bomb Robotnik gave him. It explodes, flinging the freedom fighters towards the portal they came into. Rotor quickly retrieves the freedom fighters from the zone. They gather and promise Sally that they'll figure out a way to save the king. End of part 3.
Do you think he just didn't recognize his daughter, or do you think he's just gone insane in the zone of silence?
Oh, I think it'd be really, really cool if the zone of silence was such a effed up, like, it's a place where living being or like normal Mobian beings, like their minds are just will break in the presence of, it's like going to hell, right?
Sure.
But the likelier thing that's going to happen is that he was like mind wiped or something, right? His brain was like suffering from amnesia, right? It could be something as blasé as he hit his head.
I'm going to go farther. He has been in the zone of silence so long and doesn't age. And so he's been in here for like millions of years. And
I like that.
Yeah.
No, so I don't know if that's a thing because it's obviously science fiction, but I forget there were some other science fiction stories where it's like, hey, this being or this human actually has the ability to live forever now, but they can only remember like people from like 400 years ago because the human mind can only absorb so much information and retain it. Which is like, I don't know, we don't know if that's true, but that's just cool because it shows how powerful the expanse of time is. So I really like that idea.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool.
So that's my vote. I think, but that's just because I think that if I was writing it, that's how I would go about it. It
seems less like he's insane.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. Right, I agree.
Yeah. Unless this is like some alternate reality where it like takes your dreams and like monkey paws them, and it's like, yeah, here's your dad, but he's evil, you know. Which, like, sure, you know, with how Sonic is going, I could see that being an option too. So yeah, especially with the setup of the alternate universe thing. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm almost actually kind of leaning towards that's what's happening. Which are we misusing the term alternate universe? I don't think so. How could you explain?
Alternate universe, I think, has the implication that it's a dimension so close to the one that you're talking about that it's like Cool Sonic. Hey, alternate universe Sonic, where it's the same thing but everyone is inverse. So therefore it's close enough where you can use the term alternate, because relative to the original, the prime, it's alternate. Where my interpretation is that there's that, but also if you're just trying to say another dimension, then you just say another dimension. Right? Where it's like, because like
right.
there are
I guess
ahead,
my thinking would be alternate, because I mean King Acorn is here, right? I feel like alternate mean,
but that's the King Eggcorn from the original universe.
We don't know that.
Oh, you're right. We don't. You're right. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. We don't. It could be an alternate. It could be an alternate universe King Eggcorn. But the problem is we don't have any. Well, no. Wait, hold on. Did Kodos invent? I'm going back to the text. Did he invent the zone of silence, or did he discover the zone of silence?
I'm gonna read it just to be safe.
Yeah.
It doesn't say one way or another.
They don't. My mentor, so this is Robotnik speaking. My mentor Kodos had developed a number of different items to keep law and order over the populace. The best one was a convenient little thing called the Zone of Silence, another dimension of reality suitable for stranding one's enemies.
But
so he doesn't say if we invented it. I mean, look, if it's a dimension, that means he had to discover it. It sounds like Kodos didn't invent the zone, right? It's more so that their code. I don't know what
I think he discovered
Kodos.
Because
he discovered it. Kodos invented the portal.
Yeah, exactly.
The technology to access. Okay.
Because
that's a little clearer.
Because the verbiage
if that's what it is.
Immediately after is, however, it turned out the zone wasn't a dimension with finite proportions. So that verbiage implies a discovery, right? Like, if you made it, you would know proportions. You would know if it was finite or not, right? I mean, I guess technically, most likely.
You could argue that it was such a runaway invention that you don't even know what the hell.
That's true.
It's like generative AI. We don't even know what the fuck we're doing anymore. But that's a little too much into it. I agree. I like that logic. It really does seem more like a discovery, like discovering a new continent or something. Yeah.
Monkey paw is still very viable. How do we like this?
Yeah.
Do we like the idea that King Acorn is alive and traveling with gargoyles infinitely through space? And maybe even time?
I never would have guessed it. I think it's absolutely better, definitely better than what I had originally envisioned, because I had underestimated this comic. I initially envisioned that it was just King Acorn was in prison somewhere, and it would have been a traditional prison breakout storyline. But no, this is interesting. This is cool. As a little maybe try hard and edgelord it may come off as, I think this is metal as hell, right?
Yeah.
The implication again, I use the term eldritch for good reason. It's a little scaled down than what we had originally envisioned, but it's still really, really cool. Like, that's unique. I don't, friendly people or allies who are brainwashed or transformed to become enemies is hardly a novel invention, but the set dressing here of them being in a whole different dimension and just, it seems like they become masters, because he says these are my troops, right? So he's like, King Acorn, this implies that King Acorn is such a badass, right? He's such a leader that no matter where he goes, even if he does suffer a mind wipe, that he still retains the leadership capabilities to lead troops and take command of armies. And
I'm going to push it further.
Do cool things.
What if King Acorn conquered the Zone of Silence? What if this is his new kingdom? What if he doesn't even want to be rescued, dude? Man? Maybe he's just like, why would I go back to Mobius? I'm like king of the universe. I've got a cool horse and I travel amongst the stars. Why would I go to this lame planet?
That does sound sick, right? Like, this also gets into the psyche of who King Acorn is, because the aesthetics here aren't very nice. He doesn't seem like a kind, benevolent ruler. No, he seems like a pillage and conquer and destroy kind of ruler. So now you have like a dichotomy, an internal conflict between that he's not even aware of, where it's like, in Mobius, in the prime dimension, he is benevolent, he is kind, he is a merciful ruler, whereas in Hell World, in the Zone of Silence, he is just batshit insane and just a murderous son of a gun. And that's really, really cool to think of. Again, we're speculating, but I think that's really cool. And that would set up, I mean, there's already a good setup for Sally's reaction, right? Mm-hmm. This conflict within her. But if it comes down to that, can they save King Eggcorn? Will they be forced to kill King Eggcorn? That'd be interesting, right? This is a great setup for some really interesting ideas, and I'm kudos kudos to Kodos. No, kudos to
That's good.
Ken Penders.
I'm gonna steal that.
Kudos to Ken Penders for setting that up. I'm thoroughly impressed by that.
Reading this comic, I really only had one question, and I feel like you probably, even if you haven't said it out loud, you're probably thinking along the same page, which is King Acorn is obviously an elite. Do you think he's on Epstein's flight logs?
I mean, look, this is why the people voted for Robotnik, right?
Yeah, reading this issue specifically, I was like, yeah, they voted for Robotnik.
They voted for Robotnik, and he has the list. He doesn't need to share it. We trust him with it, right? He took all those bastards on the list. And
it was literally
whose list do you think it was?
Weird. It's just Jeffrey St. John and King Acorn, and that's it.
Who would be the Jeffrey Epstein of Sonic? Wait, no. It's just Jeffrey Epstein. It's just
he's just
it's just regular Jeffrey
it's either
Epstein.
That or
but he's a squirrel.
I don't trust Vertical. Is all I'm saying.
No, I actually just want furry art of I just want anthropomorphized squirrel Jeffrey Epstein. Hey, I think I just found our episode's title.
I want it too, just because I feel like it would demoralize him in death also. Like, if there is an afterlife, he's just watching some person draw this. He's like, what the fuck? I can't believe everything I did, and this is what's happening.
Satan's like, oh, dude, that sucks.
Satan's like, that sucks, dude.
Sucks to be you. Oh my god. Yeah. He very well could be. He very well could be.
Yeah, all I'm saying is like, if you decide to dress like that, maybe you're evil. I don't know. You know, I'm just asking.
He's actually
questions.
He's faking the amnesia. I was like, that's my daughter, all right. But I'm on the list, so I escaped to this whole other dimension. I can start a new life.
I don't have to
We're
pay
good.
for my
We're good, guys.
Consequences here. Yeah, hell yeah.
All right. Well, we just called King Acorn a pedophile, so let's move on, shall we?
Yeah, let's. Oh, right. I forgot we still have a whole new story. I was getting ready to wrap it up.
A pretty fucking insane one. All right. A Sense of History, Part 3. Script by Mike Kanternovich and Ken Penders. Penciled by Ken Penders. Knuckles is going over the last 2 issues in case you've forgotten what has been happening in this story. All right, so Edmund and Dimitri had a dream. To drain the gems which hold the floating island aloft, that we might again become one with the land. But the dream went horribly, terribly wrong. Acting against the will of the scientific elite, Dimitri instead absorbed the power until the energies of 11 shattered Chaos Emeralds howled within him. And as he spoke, the ground twisted and heaved until a massive dark tower erupted from the earth. The shadow of what would be known as Mount Fate spread across the land, heralding the fall of Echidna civilization. My father told me this tale, but how does it connect to Archimedes and the mystery of the missing chaotics? Maybe the answers lie in what happens next. We cut to the past, inside the Dark Tower, where Dimitri the Echidna, who absorbed the Chaos Emeralds, is holding the scientists and the magistrate who tried to stop him hostage. These hostages are chained up on the wall and have begun to awake in unison. So I know Dimitri's voice. Is there evil Dimitri? Is that a special voice? Or is it just regular Dimitri?
Something cell related, but I don't remember. That was so far ago now. I don't remember how we decided on that.
Should I just do Dimitri, but I'll just add reverb in post?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, do that.
Good. This is as it should be. Conquering a world is scarcely worth the effort. Because we said he was a surfer for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's good. This is good.
Conquering a world is scarcely worth the effort without those who dared thwart my will and attendance. The elite deemed the Chaos Siphon too dangerous, but the facts have proven me right. Our island endures, and through a bizarre twist of fate, infinite energy is mine to command. Edmund, who's chained up hanging on a wall, responds, Your ego has betrayed us, Dimitri. You're not the brother I knew. Correct, Correct, Edmund. I am far, far more. Immortal. Eternal. A living Chaos Emerald and the mightiest echidna in the universe, bruh. The magistrate, who is chained up next to Edmund, speaks up and says that Dimitri has gone mad with power. Mad? Men always think they're... Wait, why is he saying men?
Yeah.
Why did Ken Bender say men?
It gets weirder. This is actually pretty low on my list of gripes.
Fair enough. Mad? Men always think their superior's mad, but it's too late to stop me, magistrate, for the deed is done. Already, Incanopoulos has fallen. A subtle reprogramming of our Mechanaut's command code has bent him and... What does that fucking mean? A subtle reprogramming of our Mechanaut's command code has bent them, and through them, the citizenry, to my will. And once sails have been mounted atop the city's highest towers, the Isle, like some great ship, shall traverse the globe, bringing enlightenment to the dwellers below. Only this fortress, which has been strengthened with a fraction of my own limitless power, can resist my staggering might. Its walls are proof against any attack. Just then, the walls start crumpling near where the chains are anchored on the wall. The chains begin to break and everyone is set free. An army of fire ants come crawling out the wall. The ants have eaten the tower's foundation, and the tower is beginning to crumble. Edmund and the magistrate call out, telling Dimitri to follow them out of the tower. But Dimitri is stunned. He can't move. The magistrate and Edmund run out, leaving Dimitri behind. Everyone is now standing outside, and the magistrate decides this is a good time to quote scripture to a religion that doesn't exist. Go to the ant, thou sluggard! Consider his ways and be wise. It seems we owe our very future to these, the humblest of God's creatures. Edmund responds by saying, My brother in Christ. No, my brother. Edmund responds by saying, My brother, nothing could spare him from this fate. Nothing. And no one. A tragedy, Edmund. All the more should we fail to learn from it. By placing trust in science, our race has committed an act of hubris, arrogant pride, and innocence paid the price. We must make amends as best as we are able to. Knuckles' voiceover comes back in. And thus, in the shadow of a fateful mountain, my people renounced technology, tore down their city, and, to ensure history not repeat itself, appointed a guardian to stand watch over the surviving Chaos Emeralds. Edmund was the first to bear that mantle, a sacred trust passed generation onto generation through all of his children, to my father, and finally to me, which brings us full circle for all the good it did. So much for legends. After finishing the story, Knuckles ponders and remembers that the old echidnas took all their sacred artifacts and buried them in a vast underground city beneath the shadow of Mount Fate. Knuckles heads off to the underground city with hopes of finding his friends. End of part 3.
So before we even touch on this, I just want to comment that obviously the echidna has to be dumb as shit for never even thinking of putting sails on the island so that they could pilot the island. But also, I love Dimitri, and I wish he got to have his island pirate ship that he could have just flown around and plundered the world with. That's just really fucking cool. That's just cool. I'm like upset that's not the direction the story goes in. Where do we begin? Where do you want to begin? Because I am I have a lot of thoughts. I can go, let's start with God. Why?
What an insane way to start. You're right though. Let us start with God.
How do we feel about you know what? Maybe we should read the Bible verse out loud and then
Here, send it to me.
Because I did this earlier and I was like, this doesn't work with what.
So this is Proverbs Proverbs chapter 6 verse 6 through 11. This is from the New International Version. Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food in harvest. How long will you lie there, you sluggard? When will you get up from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. And poverty will come on you like a thief, and scarcity like an armed man.
So,
okay, brother Nick, how do you want to? What's like the meaning behind that passage?
So I might be an idiot, but or maybe I'm smart and kind of an idiot. Because this passage is about like preparing yourself and not being lazy, right? It's just saying like, hey man, you should like gather things so you're prepared later, so you don't, end up in a situation where you're like hungry or something or need water, right? Like,
yeah. So basically, what in the context of what's going on, we will touch on this, but it's like, hey, this super small creature, the humble ant, it's what saved us, which means all this technology that we have, flying cars and all this shit, we need to get rid of that and go back to the land. We need to go back to nature, back to humble, the way of before, right? A very reactionary way of doing it, very, very kind of backwards way of thinking. And because of what has transpired here, and that's not the message of this at all. So it just sounds, you're right. Cause it is preparation, right? If anything, it's like being smart about the future as opposed to dumbing it down.
You could interpret this as Ken Penders doing the most religious thing possible, which is taking a very small part of a proverb and then twisting its meaning to suit yours. And in this case, in the most insane way possible, it was just like, God's talking about ants and how wise they are. And that's it.
Until it is addressed, probably by Knuckles, but until it is addressed that he's like, yeah, what we did was stupid, guys. Like 500 years ago, why did you destroy our great and advanced civilization? You guys are fucking stupid. I know this whole Chaos Emerald thing happened, but we could have maybe worked around that as opposed to just going completely backwards. Until that is addressed, we can't attend to that yet. So yes, it really does sound like Ken Penders just took the ant verse out of context and just inserted it into this story.
And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this will come full circle in a way that works, but like it's not
right. It's not coming off that way. It definitely isn't.
Well, because if you think about the context in which he's saying that, it doesn't make sense. Because it's not about preparing, right?
But it's just like I guess to reinforce what you had, to give Ken the benefit of the doubt, it is the magistrate doing it, who's saying the verse. So it's like, okay, if anyone's gonna get it wrong, it's probably him. But no. Look, it's Ken set it up because remember that one panel in part one of this story. It's a dumb like circle, like how he circles back to the ants and how that's relevant.
To me, is he went to church and they talked about this proverb and he was just like, I like where I'm gonna do this. I like where we're at. And then he did the ant thing in the other panel and he's like, I'm gonna make this work. Because I did think it was really weird that they focused on ants in the other issues when
the island was lifting.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. Turns out ants are the key. The only way I'll accept this as good writing is if ants keep on saving the day. Like every time, like I want an ant going Super Saiyan. I want an ant to get all 7 Chaos Emeralds and try to take on like Robotnik or something.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Can we just move on to this? Probably the biggest insane plot point
where they blow up the city.
So imagine these two dudes, because it's just three of them.
It's two. It's Dimitri and Edmund.
Right. No. Edmund and the magistrate.
Oh,
imagine because like Dimitri just fucks off, right? Yeah. So imagine like these two dudes. One is a top scientist and one is a government official. Sure. But imagine they come back from the wilderness, right? Back to like this town hall or like city hall meeting. And it's like, hey guys, so we need to just destroy all progress, all technology, and go back to the land. And everyone's cool with it. Everyone's just cool with it. I feel like, so this is page 6, right? Mm-hmm. Between the panels where the magistrate is taking off his wig and the next panel where they're blowing up the city, in between those panels, I feel like there should be like wars and shit of people who are like, this is insane, we're gonna fight this.
This is my actual interpretation. It's probably not right. I think the magistrate and Edmund go full on terrorist. I think they just decided this and didn't tell anyone. And they're just like, we are right. They're radical. They've been radicalized. They saw a being of infinite potential and was just like...
They saw God.
Yeah, they saw God. And they're just like... how do you even communicate that, especially to the scientific community, right? How are they going to sit down...
That makes... so much more sense than my thing. Yeah, no, I love that. I actually love that.
And so they're just like, they're not going to understand our like point of view. And we have the know-how. We're smart. We know like the weaknesses of everything. And like, we know how to blow things. Let's just blow it up. You know what? Let's just blow it up. It would they massacred all of them, which is why there's so few echidnas now. And like... brainwashed their children into this like almost like system, religious religious guardian thing. I don't know how they're procreating. That's a separate conversation. And yeah, that's I think how we get to where we're at is through radical beliefs that they have to work outside the system and just blow things up.
That's an insane theory that I love. They just become eco-terrorists, eco-fascists,
100%,
and just
otherwise it does not make sense in any way, shape, or form.
No, I think it does make sense, but they don't address it at all.
Well, because
it's just completely hand waved over. The only way this makes sense
is like all the echidna coming together and being like, yes, we should walk off into the ocean and like blow everything up because we failed as a society. And I don't believe that's the direction it goes in at all.
Yeah, because it would have to be like it's implied that society was much, much, much bigger. Echidna society was. And then it got pared down dramatically. We don't know the numbers. It could have been, a couple million down to like a couple thousand. We don't know. But it's implied there's some kind of not just technological scaling down, complete scaling down, but also like a self-genocide, it seems. Some self-imposed extinctionalism here. And it's genuinely, this does make them religious fanatics, even though technically it is a sci-fi, like you can explain God in this and that Dimitri, becomes one with this, gem. But it is like, imagine again, if we go with your theory, which I like, imagine again, yes. So then it is still these two dudes come from the wilderness. They have seen God, and then they probably form a cult, probably form a cell of terrorists, and then they just start killing people. It is effectively like religious fanatics.
Yeah.
And that is such an interesting angle that definitely won't have. That's too hardcore for this comic.
I agree.
But God, that'd be so cool. It's so cool. That would be so cool if that was I have no faith in it, but that'd be so cool.
Yeah, and so everyone dies except for the religious fanatics, and then the religious fanatics go and gathers all artifacts and buries them deep in a city. I
like it does. Like those two panels where they're, which is that panel where it's a bunch of echidnas working in a warehouse is so funny to me. It's
good.
like there's just again, and absolutely Ken Penders did not mean this, but still, it is so funny to me just seeing all these Knuckles clones just doing serious things, like a society of just Knuckleses. Not echidnas.
Yeah,
literal Knuckleses. Because they all just look like Knuckles. And anyway, this could be interpreted, and the likely interpretation is that these two panels are showing all of society coming together, banding together to do this. But this could easily just be the cult of terrorists doing this, which is in our hearts what we believe.
I think it's kind of bullshit that the tower just crumbles and Dimitri's just buried. The dude has like infinite power times like 7. And he's just buried by a tower. I don't fucking buy this for a second. Don't tell me this dude is like all powerful and then is like, oh no, a house fell on me. Like, no, I don't buy what just fucking happened. I'm sorry. And I feel like they're probably setting up a major bad guy, right? Like, I assume what's about to happen is Dimitri has been in this like tomb encased in this tower for like a millennia, and they're about to uncover him, and then like he's gonna come fuck shit up, and like classic big story like this, Robotnik needs to team up with Sonic or else end of everything, and then they take on Dimitri, and that's that arc. I'm assuming that's what's about to happen.
Concur. It's a big bad. It's setting up a boss, effectively.
Do we think ants are sentient?
Couple more things.
I think they knew what they were doing.
You're right. You're right. The implication is that it is such a precise thing that they chomp through the specific foundation of the chains that it had to have been some kind of sentience. Maybe it's not like like human level or echidna level sentience. It is elevated. It is elevated, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's like that dodo bird. Remember that dodo bird that Sonic found?
Yes.
Where it can understand commands. Maybe a little less than that, where the ants are like, this is bad, we should do something. And they're just this pure creatures that just do
you don't
things.
Think they're a hive mind?
They're definitely a hive mind because they're ants, but it like the hive mind decided. The queen or whatever. The queen was actually like fully sentient and was trying to do like diplomacy from like a small anthill, and it's like, dude, we're trying to establish contact with your country. Please
Stop
please
stepping on us.
And they have like an embassy and everything, but no one notices because it's ants.
What is this? An embassy for ants?
There we go. I just want to acknowledge that they were in the previous issue, but there's some other there are other echidnas other than Edmund and the magistrate that do go with them on the mission. I'm assuming they're like security or something. Because like there's one with like an eye patch. I think that's implied to be like military or something.
You want
just so I'd acknowledge that.
Going back to the religious fanatic angle, they make Edmund, who is the first to bear the mantle of the guardian of the Chaos Emerald, swear on what I can only presume is a Bible.
Yeah. I mean, you can, so this is an American thing too, but you can swear on anything. You don't.
I know.
There is no obligation to swear on a Bible, but it's a Bible. Let's be honest. It's probably a Bible.
I think so.
Especially with the context of that previous quote on the previous page. It's a Bible. So is Jesus an echidna?
Oh, what a good question. Do I think Jesus is an echidna? I think the echidna believe that he's an echidna. Just like how a lot of Americans think Jesus was white, so
yeah. And the Mormons thought he was literally American.
Hey, maybe the Mormons were onto something. I'm not going to talk bad about a religion that will let me marry multiple women.
Oh my god. Fucking pedocon theory right here.
What's that? Pedocon?
You don't know what pedocon is?
No.
Theory. So it's a theory that was emerged from a meme. But it's pedocon theory where the basis of conservative thought is that they effectively just want to be pedophiles. Specifically by marrying child wives and teenage wives because it's subservience. So okay, there is a little more to it than that, than the joke of just, they're all pedophiles, right? I mean, they are. That is like, the evidence is mounting in American conservatism, at least, where it's like, yeah, they're passing laws, particularly in the South, and particularly among Baptist communities and Mormon communities, where it's like, yeah, they kind of just want to marry teenagers, so children, right? So that they can control them and enforce this patriarchal, fancy word for just enslaving women. And it's at its most animated and probably cringiest at this point, or at least annoying.
Do you think that's why they're so against...
Handmaid's Tale. Sorry, Handmaid's Tale.
Do you think that's why they're so afraid of gender identity? Because they don't want women to be like, I'm a guy, and then they have no power over them?
That is the discourse right now, where it is saying like, yeah, the freedom for women to be able to say, no, I have always been actually a man, and I suffered gender dysmorphia, which they don't care about.
Yeah,
it's more just like, yeah, these. So from their point of view, it's like, yeah, these women are just saying that they're a man, and that. So and this goes into another angle of all transphobia, or not all. Sorry, maybe not all, because there are different doctrines of it or whatever. But a major one, particularly amongst men, is trans women are men, or sorry, I'm getting confused between what they think and what's the reality. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, for conservative men, the fear is, if from their point of view, if these women can just become men, I won't be able to fuck them anymore. That is one of the major cores of that strain of transphobia. Another one is the J.K. Rowling, the TERF strain where it's because these women are sick in the head and then they think that they can just become men, then that means that it dilutes the meaning of a woman. And as a feminist, quote unquote feminist, that hurts me. Right, that hurts feminism because transism is a disease that doesn't exist, or whatever J.K. Rowling fucking says. So anyway, sorry, I just wanted to state all of that for the record. But you're right. That is basically one of them, and then it kind of lends itself back to pedocon theory. Again, this is popular blue sky online. This is not like a big studied thing, but because there's a list of literally like thousands of conservative politicians, probably just as many thousands of conservative religious people, especially Baptists here in America, where they're just fucking pedophiles. What the fuck is going on? And you can the match. I think it was ProPublica. No, it wasn't ProPublica. It was some other publication was like, yeah, we tried compiling a list of liberal or Democrat
pedophiles,
convicted sex offenders. Yes. Yeah. And the list was extremely low and very, very like kind of stretching it, where it's like, this young Democrats organization, it's like local, political young Democrats group was a pedophile, but it's nothing compared to Speaker of the House of the United States Congress, Dennis Hastert of Illinois.
Classic.
Who was classic. The longest serving House leader in American history is a convicted, unquestionable convicted pedophile, and he was so for years. Trump is at least a convicted sex offender, and I should say, if comparing the massive conservative list and the relatively low liberal list, it is specifically pedophiles, because sex offenders of any age, that is Democrats, everyone's, that's everyone. That's it. If you're a politician, there's a good chance. If you're a guy politician, particularly from New York, there's a good chance you're probably a sex offender. But anyway.
Well, we're about to hear
that is
about a lot of Democrat sex offenders, let me tell you.
If this list ever comes out, once Trump gets it together.
That's what I was going to say. A lot of Republican ones are going to be missing from it, but a lot of Democrats are going to be on it.
It's honestly a very simple solution for the Republicans. Because they control so much of the messaging. I'm actually surprised that
it took this long for them to do this.
It took them just release a fake fucking list where it's just all Republicans. Throw in a couple of all Democrats.
So the truth,
it's all Democrats. Throw in a couple Republicans there to give it some buoyancy, and it's like and like who cares if like it later comes out that ProPublica did some due diligence and it's like, oh yeah, we actually found out this is a fake. No one's gonna fucking pay attention to that because one of the big things about the Epstein, what the Epstein list means to the mainstream, right? What it means to the mainstream conservatism, right? What it means is that they don't care deep down, they don't care about the pedophiles. They don't care about the sex traffickers. They say they do, but they really don't. What they want is a literal list of people they can kill. That is what they want. That is what conservatives want when they say they want the Epstein list. Now, of course, sane people want the Epstein list because we actually do want to find all the pedophiles or sex traffickers and put them in jail, right? That is forever for the rest of their lives. That is what we actually want because we're good people, normal people who have a sense of actual justice and reality. And we actually don't give a fuck if they're I don't care if it's Bernie and AOC. If they're on the fucking list and, they're found to be I mean, obviously they're not, but like if they're found to be sex traffickers, then yeah, fuck them. We don't care because we're good people. And that's, part of the everlasting irony of that the left actually has a sense of justice or are more willing to throw people under the bus, whereas conservatives don't care and they'll fall in line. But that's beside the point, right? Conservatives, what they really want from the Epstein list is, yes, a literal kill list so that they can exact either quote unquote justice through the state or vigilante justice and just go out and kill whoever they want. And let's be honest, kill people who aren't on the list and are just adjacent to these people, right? That's what they want. When you hear conservatives say Epstein list, Epstein list, replace the word Epstein list with kill list, Democrat kill list. That's what they want, because conservatives in America especially are so fucking blood hungry. They're just so fucking lead brain addled stupid that the only way they can solve societal problems is to either throw people in jail or kill them. That is literally it. That is what it means to be a conservative in America. You're too fucking stupid to understand society's problems, and you think throwing police at the problem is going to fix everything. You think bombing a country is going to fix everything. You think, just killing all your enemies is going to fix anything, and you'll do whatever it takes to feel safe so you can watch TV and watch Blue Bloods on CBS at home every fucking night and then grill in the backyard. That's what they want. So yes, 500 years of Echidna Guardians. I did the math. 15 generations of Echidna Guardians on that panel. So Nick, that panel is insane. I'm moving on, but that panel is insane to me, where it's just the copy paste, but then not copy paste. Actually, I'll give Ken some credit on that. the changes in Echidna faces. This panel is both hilarious and kind of cool.
There's one with a mohawk.
Yeah,
that's the cool one.
Do you think the lighter skinned echidnas were racist against the darker skinned echidnas?
Well, there's so few left. I don't think they can afford to be.
That's true. It's kind of like how in the Fallout franchise, human racism is not a thing, but they are racist against ghouls.
Do you think there's an echidna society? And do we think Knuckles knows about it? Because, I think he needs to get laid at some point so that he can make another one. Another guardian.
That's true. That's a wow. Okay. This is a whole thing now.
I said that maybe it came off as a bit, but it was a legitimate question because I'm like, I don't know what his plan is. It did come off as a bit,
yes. Yeah, how do they do this?
Can he crossmate with Rouge? Is that his plan in the future?
Probably, but I would think that would show in some way, right?
I mean, a echidna with bat wings would be all right.
Wait. Do you?
Yeah, I already had the thought, and I was like, I'm not gonna make that joke. But you know what? Go, you make your joke.
No. I think this is either the joke or a different joke. Do you think the reason Knuckles is so fucking stupid is because he's inbred?
Oh no, I thought you were gonna say how hot would it be to have an echidna with huge with no knockers, just a nice flat chest that they can go spy and be a good spy with.
Yeah, man. Give her a real character beyond boobs.
Yeah. No, he's definitely inbred.
But I feel like it would have taken a lot shorter to get to
different genealogy.
I don't know how that works. I don't know if that's how it works, but I also don't know how that works at all. It'd be really funny if he's just misremembering all this and this entire line of people is just fucking stupid.
Oh my god, that would be one of my favorite plot points ever. I would respect anybody who would do that and commit to it, where they're just they believe this truth so I'm so important. I was literally chosen by my bloodline to protect this this thing of infinite power. And then you just find out 5 years from now, you find the real history of the world, and it's just some gem It's not even like a Chaos Emerald. It's just some random gem. And they just made up this like lore because like they were just bored or something one day, and they're like, we gotta impart meaning in our lives, you know. And so the great grandfather was just like, I'm gonna create this lore to imbue meaning because I'm a nihilist and nothing is ever gonna happen unless if you believe in something full-heartedly.
My God. What's that? It's honestly the plot point to Preacher, the comic book series.
I've heard good things. I've never read it.
I think I remember reading like 1 or 2 issues, but either way, the plot point of, so I guess spoiler, this is a spoiler for Preacher, but Preacher is effectively, he finds the descendant of Jesus Christ. So it turns out he did have a child.
Oh yeah, so the whole 20s that they don't talk about in the Bible. Yeah, I assume he was fucking.
Yeah. And it turns out that, the logic is the disciples decide, well, this is obviously Jesus Christ. This is a pure being. So, and I should also mention, he has 2 kids, right? Mm-hmm. A son and a daughter. So guess what? Like, well, we got to keep it in the family, right?
Oh, God.
It's so the whole Catholic Church in the book Preacher, the whole Catholic Church is just this massive like system to keep the line of Jesus Christ going. And by the time it reaches the 20th century or 21st century, where Preacher discovers him, Jesus is just the most inbred, non-functioning human being alive. And it's a beautiful point of irony because I think they were hyping up, obviously it's Jesus, right? They were hyping up the descendant of Jesus to be someone. And it's fun fact, in the TV show, it's played by, what's his name? The Joker, the
which Joker?
Suicide Squad.
Oh, that fucker? That dude sucks. Jared Leto?
Yes. So it's Jesus is played by Jesus' descendant is played by Jared Leto. Yes.
That fits.
Oh my God.
Is there anything else we need to cover here?
I don't think there's anything else we can cover because this is just insane. Hopefully they wrap it up and just fucking finally he finds the chaotic.
I hope they never wrap it up, and I hope they just keep on imparting lore and lore and lore, and it just gets so convoluted where like we don't know what's up and what's down anymore. And that's when
issue 500. It's just Knuckles still walking through the fucking wilderness.
Honestly, it'd be really fucking funny if he's still lost.
And he just keeps making up shit. He's like not even misremembering it now. He's just making up shit. And it's like he's not acknowledging anyone, but people are overhearing him. And he's like, dude, this guy's awesome. And he just like starts his own cult. It's like Forrest Gump-esque cult where they just see him running and they run behind him. And it's like, okay, what's he coming up with today? What's this great history today, master?
And that's the issue.
Oh, God.
Only 379 left to go. I'm Nick. I stream at twitch.tv/Mojosaurus, and my personal blue sky is at Mojosaurus.
I'm Dominic. You can find me and my jazz and people power adventures in Chicago at Blue Collar Jazz. You can also find me on my blue sky at Domguan.
You can follow us on socials at Gotta Talk Fast. TikTok is Gotta Talk Faster. We also have a video version of the podcast where you can follow along with panels and watch our handsome faces. You can write into the show at sonograms at gottatalkfast.com, ask us questions, provide corrections, and give us your opinion on this week's issue. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And remember, when life keeps going fast,
you gotta go
talk
fast
and just get through it. I love you.
Gotta talk, gotta talk.
Gotta Talk Fast was written by Nick Folkerts and edited by Dominic Guanzon. Intro and outro themes recorded by Dominic Guanzon. Gotta Go Fast originally composed by Norman J. Grossfeld, Joseph Garrity, and Russell Velasquez.
Gotta talk, gotta talk. Gotta talk, gotta talk. Gotta talk, gotta talk. Gotta talk. Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk fast.